Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. Great to be here. I want to thank the students for coming out in such a beautiful evening the other night at Michigan, which was a lot of fun. And obviously, we got a lot better. I felt like we got better watching the film. Guys have really stepped up and contributed, stuck to the game plan, put Michigan in difficult situations, tried to put them on their heels. Obviously, in the second half, they did a much better job of combating what we were doing, but we were able to hang on. Miles hits a huge three, like we talked about after the game, which was great. So hopefully there's some breakthroughs here. And we got a confident bunch coming into practice today, looking forward to getting better.
Is the defense you played against Michigan something that you think you could hang your hat on more for the rest of the season?
It's really going to be how the teams attack it, because we don't want to open up the floor too much. And when you're playing quick guards like Carson Edwards, for example, sometimes you're giving them an advantage by being spaced out and putting pressure on where he can just one dribble and he's gone and he's at the rim, or he's shooting a three. So we got to be really intelligent on how we use it over the next few games.
And could you talk about the job your guys did in the half court once the team got past, once Michigan got past the trap part of it, how your guys did in that aspect of it?
Yeah, I thought they did a nice job. So when you're in that three-quarter court press, getting out of it is really important, and how you match up and still keep your principles and your foundation. For the most part, a few possessions wasn't great, but for the most part, I thought they did a real consistent job of pointing, talking, being in stances, loading to the ball, the little things that we've been teaching since the beginning of the season. You're really starting to see the habits form.
How do you guard a guy like Edwards from the standpoint of not getting overspaced in any part of the floor? Because it seems like even when he was here that last game, you defend him pretty well, but he's hitting 30-footers on you anyway. I mean, how do you combat that at all?
You know what? He's such a dynamic player. He reminds me of Iverson, because I lived in Philly when Iverson was with the Sixers, and these guys are able to just score in bunches and make ridiculous shots, and their speed's just incredible. We just got to try to slow him down somehow. If it's by blitzing or Jamari and Josh or however we decide to go at it this time around. I mean, they made I feel like he just made a three while we're sitting here. They made 16 threes that night, which is just incredible. So somehow we got to take him out of rhythm. Somehow we got to try to speed him up so everything's not into his liking. And Klein hits one in the logo almost. I mean, he was right there by the logo. I mean, that's a deep, deep shot. So we got to try to, again, contest every shot. Cannot give up offensive rebounds. They got a couple off offensive rebounds. I was watching the Maryland game just now. They get we call them dagger threes, offensive rebound kick out to Edwards, three. So he doesn't have much work to do. He can just step into one. So we got to really, again, do what we did against Michigan, do what we did against Ohio State, limit their extra possessions, really be solid on the defensive end. And it's really loud there, so we're going to have to really point and talk as far as our defensive rotations.
You mentioned the atmosphere, Matthew. Purdue hasn't lost there yet this season, and I can't remember the last time Penn State won. I think it was maybe 06 or something like that. I was looking it up, but what exactly about that arena and the crowd makes it so challenging for not just you guys but other opponents?
Yeah, they're on top of you. It's sold out, and they're on top of you. You can't hear anything. It's intimidating. It's loud. It's crazy. And I'd like to think we play well there. We had a free throw last year to tie it. We had our opportunities past couple years. The Thompson brothers. I mean, we've had some unluck there. So I think we play Purdue pretty well. And hopefully we have that same type of energy and same type of fight that we had last time we played them. I don't want to spot them 17, though. That wouldn't be good.
How does prep change for quick back-to-back? You played them just a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it's actually better. Right? We know what they're going to do. They know what we're going to do. It's going to be really coming down to execution and who's going to play harder and who's going to communicate harder and who's going to defend and rebound better. And then obviously, lastly, who's making shots. So it does simplify things because there's only been a couple games in between. But we'll add those clips and we'll see if there's any new cuts that they may run. But it always goes back to us and what we're doing. And that's been our mindset. It's about us. If we start to make it about Purdue, then we've lost our identity and we've lost who we are. So it's got to be about us.
How would you evaluate the job Josh did as the trigger guy in some of those late inbounds? Because from up where we are, and that vantage point's very different. It seemed like maybe there were some guys that he could have hit that he didn't. It's easier said than done when you're not the guy doing it. But how do you think he did?
Yeah, we changed inbounders. Miles became the inbounder. I think there was things there that Josh wasn't quick enough to see. So we just changed him. I thought Miles did a very good job. But Josh is our inbounder. He's been our inbounder since a freshman year. So he's been doing it a long time. So I still trust him. He's still got to be put in those situations. He's just got to play.
How do you get? He's done it forever, but how do you get better at those situations?
Clear head, no negative thoughts. Don't you know where the guys are going to be that are going to be open. It's like being a quarterback, and it's like Trace. You got to hit them when they're open, right? In football, you got to hit them when they're open. So when you're getting pressed like that, and they're long, they're very athletic in Michigan, and we saw them do that, or I saw them do that to Iowa. They sped them up and they turned them over, and it was almost deja vu. But you got to hit them when they're open, and he's got to understand when he can run the baseline, run the baseline. Take advantage of the entire baseline because that's really difficult now for the defense.
How have you seen Jamari progress this season? He had a pretty good game against Michigan, and it just seems like every game he's coming out stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's gotten better and better as the season has gone on. And that takes a little while because you have to buy into your role and understand the value of your role. Everybody has these great ideas and great goals to start the season where we want to be, 12 points, 8 assists, 4 steals, and that's great. We want those goals, but sometimes when that doesn't happen, that might detour you a little bit. I think he's bought into, I am going to be one of the leaders, and he's emerged in that role, and he is really affecting the game on both sides of the floor now. And I think as coaches, we've done a better job because we have to hold ourselves accountable too on how to utilize him if he's not going to make a shot here and there. He's rebounding the ball really well on both ends of the floor. He's setting more screens for us, and obviously you know what he's doing on the defensive end. He's spearheading our defense and really speeding teams up. I mean, Simpson had 6 turnovers. I'd like to check that to see if he ever had 6 turnovers in a game, because that's how solid he is. And I watched him in high school. He's a good player.
How do you get the offensive performance you had the last game against Purdue? How do you replicate that? It seems like the way the tempo was going in that game has been a lot different than the last 3 games that you've played. Is it going to be more of the same, or are you maybe looking to go back to that high tempo kind of shootout?
I don't want to play in a shootout. I can tell you that right now, especially not on the road. But we definitely have to start out the game well, and we have to play with pace and tempo. But we need to get stops. I mean, we just can't let Edwards go off the way he did in the first half here, and Klein for that matter. Maryland let them get off a little bit in the first half the other night, but then they really bottled them up. So we have to follow a similar game plan of trying to slow them down. But again, it's about us. We want to push the ball. We want to get the ball over half court, 3 to 4 seconds, and see if we can get them on their heels and get some open ones. The best thing we're getting out of that is pressure on the paint. We got to keep putting pressure on the paint.
Is there a lesson defensively for these guys to get through? I'd say most all of that Michigan game without anybody getting in foul trouble. It seemed like it allowed those guys to not play with thinking about not to foul because they didn't have to worry about it much in the first place. Is there something for them to take from a game like that?
I think so. I think what you're seeing is we're defending and rebounding without fouling. So that means you're playing hard and you're in the right spots. I think the defensive schemes that we had during that game really worked for our personnel. Playing big, playing small, just showing different lineups, showing different ball screen coverages, I think really helped us. And we need to do that again. Because obviously they take a lot of threes, they make a lot of threes. But they also have Harms, who's very capable. They also have the big freshman 50, who's very capable. He was 5 for 6 against us. If you really want to look at anything, he was the difference. You're not expecting him to get double digits, and he got double digits. But there's a lot to learn. We're going to watch film today. Game off yesterday. Make sure we get to study all, do our academics. So today we'll watch film and try to get better and show those good clips where we're in stances and we're communicating and we're head turning and doing what we're supposed to do.
Have you seen Miles' confidence maybe continue to progress throughout the season? Because it feels like now in the last couple of games he doesn't have any hesitation on his threes, especially his threes, and even when he's contested, he's not afraid. He knows where he can get a shot off.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of staying present and not letting too much affect him. I know he only made 1 3 against Ohio State, but it was a big one, and we need it. And I think that kind of catapulted him into Michigan, saying, okay, I felt pretty good. That was a big-time shot at a big-time point in the game. And that not that he lost any of his confidence, that really emerged. His confidence emerged even more from Michigan. So he needs to keep that consistency. And I think Ra is playing with consistency. I'd like to see him shoot a couple more threes. I don't think he took one the other night, but I think he's playing with some consistency too. So it's really great to see these freshmen really pull out of that, where they were a little bit of a valley. Now they're coming out in February here, finishing strong.
Do you think Ra is understanding more where he can get points? Because obviously he's one of the better free throw shooters in the conference, and he attempted 10 the other night, I think. And it seems like more and more he's been trying to draw fouls because he knows that's where he can get points.
Yeah, I mean, when he gets in the paint, good things happen. Typically, a lot of good things happen. And if we can get him to the free throw line, that's a bonus for us. I mean, we started him in the second half just so he could shoot those free throws. So, I mean, he's got to get himself to the free throw line. But we definitely need him to shoot some threes, too. If you don't shoot them, you can't make them. Got to shoot some. Only shot, 15? Shoot a couple more.
What is the offensive messaging for those guys after a game like that? Because you score 74, but it feels like we've probably seen a more balanced output from everyone at times this year. So you win, you score 70 plus, but at the same time, maybe you feel like you could have had a more everybody involved kind of night.
Yeah, we missed a lot of free throws. I mean, if you want to look at something, go to our free throws. I was thinking Indiana there for a second. I was like, oh no way, not twice in 1 year. Or that was last year. Sorry, but you know what I'm saying. But I thought everybody really contributed. I thought we had good shots against a really solid defensive team. I mean, Ken Palm, they're one of the best teams in the country defensively. So for us to be able to get to the free throw line and get some open looks and share the basketball, I mean, I think our guys are executing the game plan of really sharing and attacking the paint, which we need to continue to do. And we're playing off 2 feet more, which is something I've been preaching for a long time. Because when you play off 2 feet, it almost turns into a post up, and you can make a lot of different plays.
You said that you're not really worried about playing Lamar too much. Why is that? Besides him just being a great athlete, how did he put himself in position? Because very few players are able to do that anymore.
Yeah, I agree with you. That the days of guys playing 40 minutes is kind of gone. But Lamar is mentally tough, and he's a well-conditioned athlete, and I think he can handle it. I try to get him out before media timeouts if I can, and I'll talk to him throughout the game. How you feeling? You need one, and he'll let me know. If I see his defense slip at all, I know it's time to get him out. But for the most part, it's the mind. If his mind is clear and he feels good, then he's going to stay out there as long as he doesn't put a fist up.
In the last couple games, he's really picked things up in the second half, and especially late in the game on both ends of the floor. What does that kind of say about him?
It says he's tough mentally, and he's really in great shape, and he's trying to pull this program and this team through to continue to achieve success, and he's doing it. I mean, he put us in position at Northwestern, Purdue the last time around, Ohio State on the road, and the other night. But he's done it all season long. He's been really, really consistent player for us.
How do you think Nojel Eastern for Purdue has maybe unlocked Carson Edwards' abilities to score? Because obviously Edwards is playing a little bit more on ball his first 2 seasons, and now he seems to be playing more like a 2-guard with a big point guard like Eastern, distributing and running their offense. How do you think that's unlocked him more as a scorer?
Yeah, I think they move him around. They're moving him around. He will play the 1 a little bit, he'll play the 2 a little bit. But Eastern's such a big guard that he can defend the point guard or the best player on the other team, so Carson doesn't have to worry about doing that. And Eastern's tough. He gave Tony Fitz last year. He's given every best player. He gave Anthony Cowan. Anthony Cowan had a bunch of turnovers in the first half. So he gives everybody fits. And I think that allows Edwards. And I'm not going to say he's resting because Matt wouldn't have that. Matt Painter, that is. But he doesn't have to guard the best player. And then on the offensive end, he's able to make plays. And Eastern's able to set him up or set the table. And then if Carson misses, Eastern's going to be there for an offensive rebound. He's one of the best rebounding guards in this league.
Do you think people don't appreciate how good Lamar is, especially because he's doing guard things with a forward body? It's a guard-friendly game, and he's still kind of having the year that he's having at a position that's maybe not always favorable for that kind of.
Ben, I agree with you. I don't think he's getting enough credit for what he's doing, and it's probably because of our record if one of these 12 games that we've been in one possession, if it was flipped a little bit or even halved, I think he'd be getting a lot of these accolades or whatever the attention he deserves. And he is bringing the ball up a lot more. When he gets a rebound, or Mike or John get a rebound, they're giving it to Lamar a lot of the times. And he's starting our break, which is fantastic. His assist to turnover in the last 5 has been very, very good, positive. So, I mean, he's playing really good basketball. And he's starting to go left more. I know everybody knows he can go right. He's starting to do different things to put himself in position to be successful.
Have there been demeanor changes over the last couple of weeks, just getting on the board, in the hallways and locker room and that kind of stuff?
You know, it's an interesting question. It really is. I'd like to think, for me specifically and my staff, we walk around this hallway, you'll never know if we won or lost. We're always going to bring the best attitude that we can bring into this building. And I think that's the way I've always been. And so that's not going to change. I'd like to think our players are going to keep that good body language and good facial expressions. Every now and then, you're 18 to 23, it's going to happen. But I think for the most part, they've done a pretty outstanding job of staying the course and continue to get better and keeping a great attitude. But am I going to say I don't see an extra little kick in somebody's step? I see a little kick in a step. I see enthusiasm, I see energy, but I've seen it all year long too.
Easier to joke around?
We don't joke, it's business now. It's business.
Alright.
I always, no matter when we were 0-10 or 0-5, it doesn't matter, I'm always going to bring in humor into my leadership. I think it's important in every facet to make sure guys are relaxed and still enjoying themselves and still having fun in doing what we're doing. It can't always be, they'll just burn out.
And I asked you, you took it the wrong way the other night, but, no, you did.
Perception.
I don't remember the question,
You
Nate, I'm
totally
sorry.
messed it up.
I totally
No,
whiffed
your-
on it, but I
your
whiffed.
approach to today.
I was thinking about Ben's sweatshirt, it was messing me up, sorry.
Your approach to today, can you be tougher on them, I guess?
Can I be tougher on them today?
Like in the sense of, coming off of a win as opposed to a loss where you're playing psychologist a little bit more.
Can I be tougher on them today in practice?
Yeah.
Yes. But I'm not going to change who I am. I'm going to keep getting better. I know you don't want to hear it. That's my answer,
Right.
and I'm sticking with it.
All right.
In the same light of Ben's question about Lamar not getting recognition, Josh is averaging almost a steal more per game than any other player in the conference. Is he being underrated as the quality of defender that he really is in the conference?
You know what? I think people think Josh needs that consistency, and that's what they're looking for, consistency on both ends of the floor. He was unbelievable at Ohio State, and that's the Josh that we need to continue on this path that we're going on. And he is playing great defense, and he does have to play Edwards and, Charles Matthews and Jordan Poole. I mean, there's no nights off for this kid. So maybe a little bit he's not getting the recognition that he needs. But we'll see that at the end of the year. I think he'll be on the all-defensive team.
Those steals records look like they were going to be kind of untouchable with Ron Brown and Money Brown.
Yeah.
Are you kind of hoping he gets it? Do you care about that?
I don't even know where he is. I know he's close, but yeah.
He's got to average like 2.5 a game,
He's
I
at
think.
232. And
Yeah.
the record's 250.
It would be awesome. It would be awesome because that kid came here day one. Graduated Oak Hill on a Saturday. He was at Penn State on a Sunday. So for him, I hope he breaks that. It'd be great for him and his family.